I caught my neighbor recording my son practicing soccer in the backyard. When I asked what she was doing, she said, "Just collecting evidence for the noise board." A week later, I found a video titled, "The Family That Thinks They're Raising Ronaldo." The caption? "Here's 90 seconds of them disturbing the peace." My son's coach saw it. He got benched for unnecessary attention. We live in Chandler, Arizona. Good weather, decent schools, middle-class neighborhood. The kind where people mow their lawns on weekends and hang up cheap Halloween decorations in October. It's nothing fancy, but we like it. We've lived here since 2017, and for the most part, people keep to themselves. Nobody bothered us. That changed when Joyce moved in. Joyce bought the house behind ours. She came alone, no family, no visitors, just her and her little white dog that barked at leaves. She looked like your typical retiree. Floppy sun hat, loose cardigans, and one of those deep tan faces that screamed, "I've lived in Arizona too long." I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Waved when I saw her. Got nothing back. Still, whatever. I didn't need to be best friends with my neighbors. Now, my son Ben is 12. He lives for soccer. I mean, he eats it, breathes it, dreams about it. He's not on his phone all day, he's not glued to screens. The kid wants to be outside. Every day after school, he's out there in the backyard, working on drills. We put up a small practice net for him, and he works on his kicks, juggles, moves, quiet stuff. No shouting. No blasting music. Just ball on net sounds and him talking to himself sometimes. This routine had been the same for over a year. Nobody ever complained. We'd even had neighbors stop us to say they liked how focused Ben was, that he was setting a good example. Then Joyce showed up. About 2 weeks after she moved in, I pulled into the driveway around 3:30. I came around back to grab something from the shed and noticed someone standing behind our fence in the alleyway, phone out, held up, pointing toward our yard. I stopped in my tracks. It was Joyce. She was holding her phone up through the slats in our fence, just filming. Not even being subtle. I stepped closer. "Excuse me?" She jumped a little, like she'd been caught sneaking candy. But then she just lowered her phone and gave me this smug, closed-mouthed smile. "Just collecting some evidence for the neighborhood noise board." I stared at her. "You're filming my kid." She shrugged. "He's loud. Some of us work from home. Or like to enjoy peace and quiet without constant ball thuds. He's not blasting music. He's just practicing. Every day. It adds up," I said. "There's nothing in the HOA rules that says a kid can't play in his own yard." She smirked. "We'll see." Then she turned and walked off like she just warned me about a parking ticket. I told my wife about it. She was furious. We decided to ignore Joyce. Maybe she'd move on. Maybe she'd get bored. Instead, things got worse. The next weekend, Joyce started sitting in a folding chair on her side of the fence while Ben practiced. Just sat there. Sunglasses on. Phone out. Filming. Every single day. Ben noticed, of course. He started getting self-conscious. Asked me if he was doing something wrong. I told him, "No, buddy, you're fine. She's just being weird." Then came the video. Monday morning, I'm at work, and I get a text from my wife. "You need to see this. Now." It was a YouTube link. I clicked it. The title? "The Family That Thinks They're Raising Ronaldo." The thumbnail was my son. Caught mid-kick. Blurry and zoomed in like she'd been filming from behind a tree. I watched the whole thing. 90 seconds of edited clips, some from behind the fence, some from her window, I guess. Showing Ben practicing. Every few seconds, sarcastic text popped up on screen. "He's got the ball. Again. Shocker. Disturbing the peace, Chandler edition. If I hear one more soccer thud." The background had fake crowd noise added for laughs. She tried to make it seem like our backyard was a stadium. The description? "Trying to enjoy retirement in peace, and I get this every day. Chandler, Arizona noise board, this is what we deal with." I felt sick. I flagged the video. My wife did too. So did my sister and a couple friends. But it had already been up for hours. Someone from Ben's soccer team had seen it. One of the parents showed the coach. That night, we got a call from Coach Daniel. Said he was concerned about the attention Ben was bringing to the team. That he was going to sit Ben for the next couple of games until things died down. "He's 12. I yelled. "You're punishing a 12-year-old because some nosy neighbor made a stupid video?" Coach didn't back down. "It's not about punishment. It's about optics." My wife cried after that call. Ben didn't cry though. He just got real quiet. Then 2 days later, he asked me something I'll never forget. "Dad, do I embarrass you and Mom?" That's when something in me cracked. I decided Joyce didn't deserve peace and quiet. She didn't deserve comfort. She wanted a war? She got one. I started with her dog. No, I didn't hurt it. I love animals. But I did start playing dog whistle recordings through a Bluetooth speaker under the fence. Not loud enough for humans to notice. Just enough to drive the dog nuts every few hours. Every time she brought it out to poop, the thing would bark and spin in circles. She thought it was sick. Then came the gardening. I bought 10 massive tomato planters and lined the fence. I set up automatic sprinklers to mist them several times a day, but I, accidentally, pointed too directly over the fence. Joyce's chair? Soaked every afternoon. Her garden no? Mildew magnet. She complained. I acted shocked. "Oh, sorry, must have knocked the nozzle." I wasn't done. Joyce started leaving nasty notes in our mailbox. No name, just printed out messages typed in bold black font. Stuff like, "Children should not be heard. You're raising a public nuisance. There are places for loud people. They're called gyms." She never signed them, but we knew it was her. I reported it to the HOA. They said without proof, they couldn't do much. I asked if filming someone's kid and posting it online without consent violated anything. They said that was a legal matter, not theirs. So I made it one. I contacted a lawyer my buddy recommended. She specialized in privacy law. We found out Arizona has a reasonable expectation of privacy rule. Filming someone in their own yard without their consent might toe the line, but posting it online and mocking a minor? That opened a door. We drafted a cease and desist letter. Sent it certified mail. Joyce didn't respond. But the video came down the next day. I thought that would be the end of it. Then Ben came home from school with his soccer ball deflated, sliced right down the side. He said he'd left it in the backyard while he ran in for a drink. 5 minutes tops. We checked the camera on our back porch. It didn't cover the whole yard, but it caught something. A shadow. Movement. Someone reaching through the fence slats. Then a hiss of air and the ball collapsing. I called the police. They said without a face or a clear act, there wasn't much they could do. That night I stood at the fence, staring into her dark yard shaking. I knew she did it. And I knew I couldn't count on anyone else to stop her. So I made a plan. I started tracking her schedule. She walked the dog at 6:45 every morning, watered her plants at 9, checked her mail at 11. Like clockwork. She wore a Fitbit. I could see the tan line on her wrist from my window. Then I made a call to a friend who does sound for local events. I asked if he still had that long-range speaker system he used for outdoor concerts. He did. I paid him to loan it to me. One morning, right as Joyce stepped outside to walk her dog, I pointed the speaker over the fence and hit play. Soccer game audio. Not real, fake crowd noise, goal screams, announcers yelling. "He shoots, he scores!" It blared for 5 solid minutes. Not at top volume, just loud enough to make her turn and storm back inside. I did it again the next morning. And the next. After the 3rd day, she came to the door. She knocked. My wife answered. Joyce didn't say hello. "This is harassment," she said. My wife didn't flinch. "So was filming a child and putting it online." Joyce's face went red. "That video was removed. You're lucky that's all that happened." Joyce stormed off. Called the cops. When they came, I showed them the letter from our lawyer and a printout of the video she posted. The officer shrugged. "It's a neighbor dispute. Keep it civil." So I did. I stayed just inside legal lines, but I made her life uncomfortable. I added motion lights to our backyard. They lit up the whole alley every time her dog passed by. I installed a wind chime, 5 of them actually, each tuned just off key. She'd hear them every time a breeze passed. She started leaving town on weekends. I knew because the mail would pile up. The minute I saw her car leave, I'd let Ben practice all he wanted. Full volume. No guilt. Pure joy. Then came the twist I didn't expect. Ben's coach called again, only this time, he sounded different. He said, "I think we made a mistake." Apparently, another parent had come forward. They admitted Joyce had sent the video to multiple parents on the team. Some of them thought it was funny. But one dad reported it, especially after hearing Ben got benched. The league opened a review. Coach Daniel apologized. Publicly. Ben was reinstated. The parents who shared the video? They were banned from team events for the rest of the season. Joyce had tried to humiliate my kid, and it ended up blowing back on her like a pipe bomb. But I wasn't done. Because what she did wasn't just petty. It was cruel. And people like that don't stop unless they're shown just how much they can lose. Things went quiet for a while after the league stepped in. Ben was back on the field, playing better than ever. You could see it in how he moved, lighter, faster, like a weight had been lifted. Joyce, on the other hand, disappeared from sight. No more folding chair. No more filming. She stopped walking the dog, which we later found out she started sending to a local pet sitter. It was like she was hiding in her house. My wife thought maybe she'd finally backed off. I didn't believe that for a second. People like Joyce don't give up. They wait. And she waited exactly 2 months. In early December, we got a letter from the city. It said our property had been flagged for noise complaints and potential code violations. It didn't make sense at first. We didn't throw parties, we didn't have animals outside, and Ben's practice hours were weighed down due to winter and early sunsets. But Joyce had found another angle. She'd reported us, multiple times, for operating an unlicensed training facility. That's what she wrote in the report. Claimed we were running a youth soccer academy out of our backyard, charging money, and disturbing the neighborhood. It would have been laughable if the city hadn't actually scheduled a compliance inspection. I called the inspector. Explained everything. He said, "You're not in trouble yet. But if she keeps reporting, it could escalate." He told me off the record. "These usually come from neighbors with a grudge. We see it all the time." That's when I knew I had to go further. Up until now, I'd kept things on our side of the fence. I annoyed her, I fought back, but I didn't go after her life. But if she was willing to mess with city records to get us fined, she was playing dirtier than I'd expected. So I did some digging. Public records. Deed searches. Zoning requests. Permits. I found something. Back in 2020, during the height of the pandemic, Joyce had converted her garage into a craft studio. She'd even posted about it on a small Etsy seller forum. Sold wreaths, birdhouses, that kind of thing. Here's the problem. Her permit for home business use had expired 2 years ago. And she'd never renewed it. Worse, she was shipping handmade goods using commercial carriers from her house without a zoning variance. I took screenshots. Lots of them. Then I filed my report. I did it anonymously, but I made sure to attach links to her old listings, photos of her setup, and even a calendar that showed pickup schedules with UPS trucks parked out front. 3 weeks later, she got hit with 2 citations and a zoning warning. She appealed. It failed. The result? She had to shut down her online store, pay over $1,800 in back fines, and, get this, remove all signage, packaging supplies, and business-related tools from the premises. She tried to argue it wasn't a business, just a hobby. But she'd posted prices. Used invoices. Took payments. City said nope. That's a commercial activity. She lost it. We heard the screaming through the walls one night. No words, just raw, furious yelling. It sounded like something broke. Later, her trash bins were full of shredded cardboard, packing foam, and broken paintbrushes. Ben didn't know any of this. He just kept practicing. But one night, he came inside and said, "Dad, why is Joyce just sitting in her yard?" I looked outside. She was in the dark, sitting in her chair again. No phone. Just staring toward our house. The next day, we found a sign staked into her lawn. "Quiet neighborhoods matter." Underneath, in smaller letters. "Keep kids in parks, not backyards." My wife wanted to rip it out. I said leave it. Because I had one more card to play. And it was going to be the one she never saw coming. I had one more move left. One that would close the door on Joyce's games for good. After the zoning violations, I figured she'd go quiet. Maybe even move. But Joyce didn't quit. A few weeks after she got hit with the fines, she started a petition. A real one. Printed out and everything. She went door to door, trying to get signatures for what she called a noise reduction proposal. What she really wanted was a new HOA rule banning kids from practicing sports in backyards. And here's the part that still gets me, she got 8 neighbors to sign it. Some signed just to get her off their porch, sure. But others believed her. She told them stories about constant disturbances. Made us sound like lunatics, said Ben had been kicked off his team for misconduct. She twisted everything. So I hosted a block party. I paid for everything, grill food, music, lawn games. I invited the whole neighborhood. Not a petty move. A calculated one. People are more likely to side with you when they've had a good time in your yard. And during that party, I told the truth. I set up a table with a poster board that read, "What really happened with Joyce?" Under it, I taped, A screenshot of the video. She posted a copy of the cease and desist letter, a redacted version of her zoning violation, and yes, her petition with the names blurred out, just enough to show what it was. People were shocked. Some came up to apologize. Some were pissed they'd been lied to. One guy even admitted, "I signed that thing just to shut her up. Didn't know she was filming your kid." The best part? Someone took pictures of the board and posted them on the local neighborhood Facebook group. By Monday morning, the comment section exploded. Dozens of people piled on. Some called her a creep. Others asked why she was obsessed with a 12-year-old. One mom even wrote, "I wouldn't feel safe letting my daughter walk by her yard." Joyce's name was poisoned. She took down her sign. Then her mailbox went missing. "I didn't do it. I wouldn't." But someone else had reached their limit. 3 weeks later, a for sale sign showed up in her yard. No announcement. No goodbye. She was gone within the month. But here's the truth, the part that still sits with me even after she left. I changed, too. I became a version of myself I'm not proud of. I spent months plotting. I lost sleep. I fought fire with fire. And yeah, I won. But it came at a cost. Ben was happy again. That mattered. He made the regional team a few months after Joyce left. But one night I heard him ask my wife, "Why did Dad have to fight so hard? Why do people hate me just for playing?" That crushed me. I taught him that people can be cruel. But I also taught him revenge is power. And maybe that's not the lesson a kid should grow up with. Joyce lost her business, her reputation, and her house. She earned that. But I lost something too, peace. I let someone like her drag me into a war that should have ended with a simple fence repair and a camera. So yeah, I got revenge. But if I'm being honest, I don't feel proud. I just feel done.